Welcome to Apex Racing TV, and welcome to the BSR World Series. And this is round 19 of the championship here at the Daytona International Speedway. A bit different tonight. We're not racing on the newly paved Daytona layout. We're racing on the layout from 2007. So the track's going to be a bit bumpy and the surface is going to be a bit abrasive. Well, good evening, everyone. As a Bath here, this makes a change from Thursday and Sunday nights, but alongside me is Conrad Venter. And Conrad, great to be here at Daytona, and yeah, it's a different kind of surface that we usually race on.
Yeah, like you said, it's a layout from 2007, or rather the surface from 2007, and for anybody that's driven around it will know just exactly how bumpy it is, especially around the oval section, which makes drafting and, like we've seen in the Kias before, bump drafting a little bit harder than it would normally be. But nonetheless, it should be a very exciting night of racing. If it's anything, if last week it wasn't anything to go by.
Yes, last week we were at Silverstone, and the winners there were Alex Everett for the Wales team, Jack McIntyre in race 2 for Team Bermuda, and then Julian Janowski took the win in race 3 by just over a second, and an independent effort there as well by Julian Janowski. Good for him to get a win there as well. Of course, a BSR TC Pro Series regular. Well, looking at the teams, the Drivers' Championship going into round 19, Discovery are 1 and 2. Pete Newman and Diego Melro lead the standings, only 41 points between those two. And then in third, it's Roy Ververke for Team Euro. Has leapt up 2 positions after his good results at Silverstone, with the first of the Team England cars in 4th, and that's Stephen Baxter. Only 2 points though behind Ververke. And then in 5th, it is Kip Stevens, 2-time BSR TC champion, Max Wright 6th, 7th for Adam Hadfield, 8th Alex Everett, who took that race 1 win at Silverstone last week. And then in 9th, it is Lorne Murray, and 10th, it is Jörg Dankert. Over in team standings, Discovery leading Wales by 715 points, Euro in 3rd, Highlanders 4th, Bermuda in 5th, Tartan Lassies in 6th, England 7th, Scandinavia 8th, and USA in 9th. So yeah, Conrad, pretty close race meeting at Silverstone last time out. Julian Janowski had to work for it in that 3rd race, won by over a second in the end.
Yeah, he did very well. I think the big talking point was from race 2, where we were treated to an absolute cracker of a race, where we had 6 cars in the last 10 minutes just stuck together, wheel to wheel. You couldn't separate them until the last corner. But yeah, it was good. And we also had Alex Everett, who had, I think, about 4 or 5 podiums on the trot from the week before as well. And that run sadly came to an end, and as we could see from the standings, he's up 2 places into 8th from last week. So there's a couple of guys to keep an eye on for tonight. That's starting to make their move in the standings, with the likes of like I said, Alex Everett and Roy Ververke as well.
Yeah, of course, that Silverstone National Circuit does lend itself to side-by-side racing. I remember calling a Winter Series race there in the BSR TC back in December. It was side-by-side for almost 5 laps. It's absolutely brilliant there. But yeah, this is the 7th race meeting of the season. After this, we head to Lime Rock Park, also in America. Then we head to Spa-Francorchamps, the Grand Prix circuit there. That's going to be brilliant to watch. The Kia always provides great racing there. And then we head to Summit Point at the end of May, before concluding the season on the oval at Phoenix. The road course, though, the road course layout at Phoenix, that'll be interesting to see. And the final race of the season in Suzuka. So some quite big tracks to look forward to as the season progresses, Conrad.
Yeah, Lime Rock is, if you don't know Lime Rock, then there's a serious problem with your iRacing experience. And like I said, Spa coming up as well. Everybody very familiar, but the off tracks is something you have to look out for there today. And then, like I said, the last race, Phoenix Road Course. I think very few of us have driven laps around there, as it's only recently that that iRacing made it a free track to the community, and the Road Series started going there. So yeah, a couple of good tracks that's coming up, and I mean, all of those race meetings should be no different to what we've seen so far in the season. Very close racing. And
as Conrad mentions, the incident limit in this championship is 17. if you hit that limit or go over it just by going off the track a few too many times or having some hard contact with a car in front or behind, you will get disqualified from the session. Just one penalty to bring you up to speed on for this race meeting, and that is Aldo Massa. He'll be getting a back of the grid and will not be allowed to participate in qualifying after his incidents at Silverstone. Qualifying is underway then. We've just got 3 minutes to go, and Kip Stevens leading the standings at the moment. The two-time BSR TC Pro Series champion is at the front at the moment. Adam Hadfield in second. Alex Everett, who won last time out at Silverstone, is in third. Roy Ververke fourth. Diego Mauro in fifth. Julian Janowski sixth. Nathaniel Simpson seventh. Eighth, Max Wright. Peter Van Gool in ninth. And Pete Newman rounding out the top 10. Conrad then. Daytona, qualifying's going to be all about the slipstream, really. You definitely need to get a car in front of you on the exit of the road course so you can have a whole load of straight line speed through the bus stop chicane and down towards the finish line.
Yeah, it makes a huge difference to your lap time. I think I heard somebody say a little bit earlier that you can gain up to 0.3 of a second with the draft around the oval bit. The drivers have also said that following somebody, once you start coming onto the oval side, into the bus stop chicane is really, really difficult. So it's possible to extract some lap time by drafting, but it is very difficult to do.
Pete Newman then at the moment down in 11th position, the championship leader. It looks like he's going to have to do a lot of work in this first race to get him up the front.
Yeah, he's just gone into the pits. Is he going to have time for another go? I'm not sure. Yeah, he's just coming out with a minute and a half left on the board. Well, we've seen this from Pete quite a few times over the last few weeks, where he struggles in the early part of qualifying, and then right at the end just gets himself up a couple more places with the last lap that's available to him. But he's been there week in and week out with very consistent performances, and that's why he's leading the series overall. Discovery
cars are leaving the pits together, most likely so they can do some slipstreaming, as Pete Newman goes for a very unconventional cut across the circuit. I think that's pretty strategic there, Conrad, because he's just missed a good part of the lap, and I think he wants to get across the line before that timer expires in just under a minute.
Yeah, we've got 50 seconds to go. I can't say that I've seen anybody doing that willingly before. So, he's getting on the brakes. No doubt he would have had at least a slowdown penalty for that. And he's come to a stop.
Yeah, I think even if he did that, I don't think he'd get to the line in time. And that is his qualifying over. Ben Gregory has leapt to the top of the timing sheets. He was fastest in practice and continues that form in qualifying. And I think this might be his first race meeting in the championship. I haven't got him on my standing sheet, so... Yeah, Ben Gregory at the moment sitting on provisional pole ahead of Kip Stevens, who lies fifth in the standings for Team Bermuda, and then Adam Hadfield, who is in seventh for Wales. So the highest of the Wales cars there in third with Adam Hadfield. 3 races then tonight, Conrad. Just quickly explain to me before I look, do we have a reverse grid for the 2 races?
Yeah, we have a full reverse grid for the 2 races, and it definitely makes it interesting. So if you don't have a great race first time round, then you'll get another shot in the second race. So all is not lost if something goes wrong in the first or second race.
And is it all cars that finish on the lead lap, or are the cars that are 1 lap down, are they allowed to get reversed onto pole?
I believe it's everybody that finishes on the lead lap, and possibly 1 lap down as well. Anybody more than that is start where they finished.
Okay, I'll flick through the rule book just to clarify on that.
Sorry, I should probably know that.
Yeah, it's fine. There's so much to concentrate on in these Kia races anyway, but let's have a look at the starting grid then for race 19 of the BSR World Series, and it's Ben Gregory, as we just mentioned, on the pole position, a time of 1 minute 50.56, 0.2 of a second ahead of Kip Stevens in second. Adam Hadfield, an excellent third for him after being 13th practice. Alex Everett in 4th in the end, with Roy Ververke in 5th, Diego Melrose 6th, Julian Janowski, who won race 3 last time out at Silverstone, lining up in 7th, Nathaniel Simpson 8th, Max Wright 9th, Peter Van Gool in 10th. Pete Newman Lines up 11th, 12th for Klaus Pettersson, Craig Evans 13th, Lorne Murray 14th, 15th for Stephen Baxter, Lewis Bibian 16th, Cesare Rizzo, there we go, in 17th, Aldo Massa 18th, 19th, Jason Greenfield, Rick Scott 19th, Colin McAllister in 20th, and lining at the back, the winner of race 2 at Silverstone, Jack McIntyre. He was third in practice, of course. I don't know whether that's a result of a penalty, but I don't think it is. Jack McIntyre then will be starting at the back. It'll be interesting to see him work his way through the field. And a pretty small grid in terms of Kia races. Just over 20 cars. And I think slipstreaming is definitely going to be a big factor in these 3 races. We'll see what Pete Newman and the likes can do starting outside the top 10 to work their way to the front.
And like you say, slipstream definitely with such a small field, but like with the Kia series, they're not shy for a couple of incidents, and on the opening laps, it'll be critical to get yourself through any melee that might take place in turns 1 and 2 as you get going. Make sure you don't lose the back of the pack at the front.
20-minute races then, Conrad. Tyre wear, especially on this surface, a pretty old surface on the old Daytona layout. I think tyre wear is definitely going to be an issue.
It is every week. It's so apparent once they get going, and especially when they get into like the last 5 or 6 minutes of a race, we can clearly see who's been looking after their tires. Normally, those guys are the big movers in those last few laps, and important. Don't not to fight too hard, and look after those 4 pieces of rubber, and they'll look after you as the race comes to an end.
Okay, then so just heading onto the grid now, and I think we will get a pace lap. I can't actually see the safety car at the front of the grid, so we actually might be getting a standing start here, which is going to be interesting to say the least. Usually we have a rolling start on these ovals, but the safety car is actually sitting at the end of the pit lane, so get ready to see a standing start, it looks like. Ben Gregory at the front. Kip Stevens will be lining up alongside him any moment now. And then you can see the 2 Wales cars there, Hadfield and Everett on row number 2. Daytona then, Conrad, quickly before we go to the green. It's pretty difficult to put your money on anyone, but who would yours be on?
Well, Alex Everett has had an amazing couple of weeks, and he's qualified in 4th. I'm going to put my money on him.
Has been pretty good, as you said, lapped up 2 positions in the standings, now lying 8th. It's won twice this season. Not too many drivers have won in this championship this season, with 11 top 5s, 15 tops 10s. Here we go then. Race 19 at the BSR Kia World Series is underway. Interesting start for these guys, of course, because they are on an oval and on a banking. But Ben Gregory gets away well. But look at the Wales cars straight away going for Kip Stevens into turn 1. Down the inside there goes Alex Everett. He's already up to 2nd. Adam Hadfield looks like he's about to take 3rd away from Kip Stevens as well. So fantastic start by the Wales cars. They've already gained positions already. Kip Stevens in 4th, then Julian Janowski, and look at Pete Newman already gaining a whole load of positions and hits the side, the quarter panel of Janowski. Janowski gets out of shape through the hairpin, and now we're on our way down to this kink, and Pete Newman has to slot in behind. So fantastic start from Newman, 11th to 6th. He definitely got the car off the line well there, Conrad, and looks like he wants to get more positions on this opening lap.
Yeah, he's done very well. Didn't manage to get that last minute quali lap in, up to the 6th position. There's a man on the move, and it's worthwhile keeping an eye on him. But again, Alex Everett just having a little look at Benjamin Gregory as they going to the last corner before the exit onto the oval. They've managed to create a little gap, and it'll be interesting to see if Everett is going to look to make a move for the lead down into the bus stop if he gets close enough, or is he just going to separate himself and wait until they get after it.
Here we go, then we're going to see the slipstream in action straight away here on lap 1. Looking it down the inside straight away is Alex Everett in the Wales car. Hard on the brakes into the bus stop chicane for the first time, and it's a done deal. So Alex Everett started 4th on the grid already up into the lead before we complete lap 1. That knocks Ben Gregory down to second. Jack McIntyre and Max Wright are having a battle here. McIntyre side by side with Max Wright's just coming out of the chicane. And look at that, right down below the yellow line. Peter Van Gool, is that allowed? I don't know if it is, but either way, he's just got past both of them there. Both got past Max Wright and Jack McIntyre. Ben Gregory, though, going back for the lead, I should say, as we come across the line to start lap 2. Ben Gregory's got clear of Alex Everett, who's lost the second place as well and could be about to lose third position as an out of control Janowski goes down the inside into turn 1. So Alex Everett, don't know what happened to him out of turns 3 and 4, but Ben Gregory and Hadfield were able to get back past him.
Yeah, Everett just, I think it was Adam Hadfield that gave him a little nudge just as they passed the pit entry, and that sent him onto the grass, and well, that sent him down to third place as well. He did really well to keep hold of it though, and get the car back on track.
Bit of typical Kia racing there, bit of contact, especially in the tri-oval. That's pretty brave there. Down the inside goes Adam Hadfield then, takes the lead away from Ben Gregory into the second hairpin on the infield section. Julian Janowski also looking very racy, trying to get past the other Wales car, but Ben Gregory, look at him replying straight away there. Down the inside into the hairpin, and as we head onto the banking, it's going to be Ben Gregory back in front, but the slipstream, here it comes again then. We're in a great opportunity here to see more of the slipstreaming, and Adam Hadfield might be about to bump draft Ben Gregory as we exit NASCAR turn 2 and head onto the back straight for the second time tonight. 20 minutes of racing, of course, and about 8.5 laps of racing to go. Here comes the other Wales car. Alex Everett might be about to get in the mix, and Ben Gregory's going to get swamped here, and whoa, off goes Alex Everett. Definitely missed his braking point there, Conrad, and is going to have to serve a hefty slowdown penalty for that.
Yeah, I'm afraid my horse overdid it a little bit into that chicane. Like I say, it's going to cost him with the slowdown penalty, and he's going to lose the pack as well, which is now down to 7 cars. And this is the big thing. I mean, these guys at the front are fighting really hard just getting on into the lead. Smart move on my part, I think, would be is just sit back, just wait. You've got the last couple of laps. People behind you will make mistakes and will lose them eventually. Oh yeah, Gregory and Hadfield touching as they go into turn 1. That is going to give Janowski a little look as they go into turn 2 and 3.
Yeah, that was very close to disaster there. I thought they were going to be on a one-way trip to the barrier on the other side of that turn 1. But yeah, Adam Hadfield now leads. Ben Gregory just holding on to seconds. But here comes Pete Newman. I should say that Peter Van Gool and Cesario Rizzo are both in the pits. Jason Greenfield also out as well in the early stages here. And now Ben Gregory will be eager to respond. He had done so already. Has managed to get back past Alex Everett at the end of lap 1. Everett now is all the way down in 11th place and has lost that main pack. We've got a train here of about 7 cars from Diogo Melro up to the front with Adam Hadfield. So we're going to see the slipstreaming again, and this is going to be definitely the talking point of the night, because we've seen in these opening 2 laps how important the slipstream is.
I tell you what as well, we've got Jack McIntyre and Aldo Massa 8th and 9th. McIntyre is only about 3.5 seconds behind this pack, and Massa is only about 5 seconds behind the pack. And they've both gained 9 places from the start. They're showing good pace. So if these 7 cars at the front are going to keep fighting like they are at the moment, then I've no doubt that McIntyre and Massa is going to pull up to the back of them and make this a 9-car pack.
Aldo Massa started 18th on the grid. Jack McIntyre starts to 17th, and they're up to 8th. And Massa up to 10th. Here comes Gregory then, going for the lead once again. And Janowski might try and look down the inside, and here comes Pete Newman. 2 by 2 as we come across the line. It was Gregory that led that lap. Hadfield on the inside into turn 1. Just clear, but does force Gregory wide and misses his braking point, locks the brakes. And that's going to allow Julian Janowski through into the lead and Pete Newman through into second. So Pete Newman, who started 11th on the grid, now into second place. Julian Janowski started in 7th. Up into the race lead. So that small mistake from Adam Hadfield, just locking the brakes, it forced Gregory wide, Conrad, and it just allows Pete Newman and Janowski through.
Yeah, you kind of have to feel sorry for Ben Gregory. He had an amazing start on lap 1, and it's just every single lap there's been somebody hounding him, and he just can't seem to stay at front.
It's not over yet though. 13.5 minutes to go, about 7.5 laps of racing left here. And I'm sure this gap will close right back up when we head onto the banking. Gregory already lost a position now. He'll try to get it back. The Wales cars, they were one and two briefly on lap 1. And now only one of them there is in the top 5. Adam Hadfield 4th. Alex Everett has got up to 10th after dropping as far down as 11th after that slowdown penalty. Heading down to the bus stop then. This is lap 4. Pete Newman has a little bit of a look, but as Conrad was saying earlier, I think the key is just to pace yourself here as Janowski just overshoots the entry into the chicane. He doesn't want to do anything too yet and jeopardise his chances of taking a victory. Of course, Pete Newman, the championship leader for the Discovery team. And let's see what he can do now off of turn 4 and down the front straight. You can see there the car's wobbling about there. This is due to the very bumpy nature of this old Daytona surface. And Pete Newman is going for it with a little bit of a help there. A little bit of bump drafting from Ben Gregory, Conrad.
Yeah, trying to make the move stick around the outside. It'll be interesting to see if they can actually do it. It looks like it's gonna stay as they are. Adam Hadfield moving up to 3rd place though. Benjamin Gregory getting relegated to 4th place.
And Newman's through. Fantastic move on. It's a bit of a touring car style move there. And Hadfield gets hit by the Wales car of Hadfield. And Roy Ververke nearly found a way through there, but it has allowed the other Wales car it has allowed Adam Hadfield to lose a position there. And has allowed Ben Gregory and Pete Newman to break away. Newman locks up the brakes into the hairpin, and there's nothing he can do to stop Ben Gregory getting alongside. Gregory, the privateer for this race meeting, has swept back in past the Discovery car of Pete Newman. So Newman down to 2nd once again. And these two, even though they've broken away just a little bit, they're definitely going to be back under pressure from Janowski and Hadfield by the time we get back around to start another lap. But yeah, a little bit of contact there. It all started from Pete Newman going for the lead on Janowski and causing Hadfield to get into the back of the BSR Pro Series driver.
Yeah, you say Gregory and Newman has just broken away a little bit. They've got a little bit of a gap, and so does Janowski and Hadfield to the cars behind them. Yeah, if they can make it work and work together, then surely they should be able to open up a gap and fight it out amongst themselves by the end of the race.
Just looking at Janowski, he's trying to stay on the inside, just trying to keep on that yellow line, but the track surface is just so pumpy, he's getting pushed back up the track.
I saw quite a few guys running the high line on the oval, making use of the banking as you come out of the corner, which seemed to have worked quite well.
It's turn 1 then, lap 6 now of racing. Just over 11 minutes in the book, just under 10.5 minutes left, and probably less than 6 laps left. Newman, is he going to try for that inside line again? He tried it last time around. Ben Gregory shows him the inside line. Look at Janowski, he's right on them, and oh, he's up the inside is Pete Newman on the exit of the corner. But Ben Gregory's just been able to pull clear, and he hasn't got the best exit, has Newman, and that's allowed Janowski to go down the inside into the kink, and that's Janowski up to 2nd place. Pete Newman down to 3rd. Adam Hadfield looking down the inside into the hairpin, and Newman gives him the inside line, but he will get the run off the corner. Yes, he does, and Pete Newman's able to hold on to 4th place. Alex Everett up to 9th, past Aldo Massa. The comeback continues. Oh, and Newman gets hit by Hadfield, and that's gonna. Oh, and he gets forced out wide, and Hadfield's in the wall, and Newman wasn't almost in the wall as well. That's going to allow his Discovery teammate through. Of Diego Melro and Roy Ververke through, and Kip Stevens has got past Hadfield, so that bit of contact between those two has knocked Newman down to 5th and Hadfield down to 7th as well. So it's not a good race for these Wales cars. They had such a good start to the race, and now losing a ton of places. Down the inside there, Diego Melro just holding on ahead of Roy Ververke. And Pete Newman, who's now got another task on his hands to work his way through the field. He started this lap in 2nd place, now finds himself down in 5th.
And interestingly, Gregory and Janowski has managed to pull themselves a gap of just under 2 seconds at the front, and then you've got this big pack of 6 cars of Melro, Ververke, and Newman, Stevens, and Hadfield hanging on as well. So
yeah, the battle packs are starting to form. Jack McIntyre and Adam Hadfield were battling. And it's because Adam Hadfield is dropping down the order. He's now down in 11th place. He started the lap in 7th. Let's see what happened to the Wales driver. He's heading into turn 1. Oh, he loses control of the car and spins off. I don't know whether he got just a little bit spooked there by the car going around the outside of him, which was one of the Bermuda entries. But yeah, now the Wales team are down in 8th and 11th. Not a good race for them.
Yeah, it's gone from good to bad to worse. Thank God that winner out the outside of Hadfield there was Jack McIntyre. Like I mentioned earlier, he, like I said, started 17th. He's now in 7th, made up 10 places. And like I mentioned earlier, if the guys in front were going to keep battling, he was going to catch up. He's done just that.
Jack McIntyre won race 2 at Silverstone last week by over 2 seconds. Part of a thrilling race we had there, of course, last time out. Ben Gregory then continues to lead Julian Janowski. Those two already pulling away. Their lap times 1:51.3 and 1:51.1 respectively. Faster than all the guys behind them. Diogo Melro did a 1:51.8 compared to the guy behind him, Roy Ververke, 1:52.6. So these guys already starting to break away. They'll have their own battle, of course. And in the battle for third, Melro really on his own now. And look at the battle for fourth between Roy Ververke and Pete Newman. Pete Newman, who must be gutted after being in second at one point and leading as well for just a few moments, needs to get back past the Euroteam racing car there of Roy Ververke into turn 1. And look at the Bermuda racing cars. Jack McIntyre has Alex Everett behind him. Everett, who got that slowdown penalty very early on, was battling for the lead. Now up to 7th place and possibly going to try and get 6th away from Jack McIntyre. In 6th, those two, of course, have had problems during the race and in qualifying as well. Pete Newman then trying to get past the Euro team entry of Ververke. Not too close to him to get a move done on the infield, Conrad, but I'm sure he'll be able to get alongside due to the slipstream and possibly get by either into the bus stop or on the run down to turn 1 out of NASCAR turns 3 and 4.
Yeah, I've just seen Kip Stevens make way for Alex Everett and Jack McIntyre into turn 1. And they're into 6th and 7th respectively. I'm wondering, Kip didn't really put up a huge fight. I'm wondering if he was just or experiencing 1 or 2 gremlins as they were coming over the start-finish line.
So what's going to happen between Everett and McIntyre then? Everett's been able to get by, now up to 6th place. McIntyre's going to come back around the outside and Everett covers him off. And into the wall goes McIntyre. He just bounces off it just a tiny bit. Surely just a bit of cosmetic damage, but Everett's overshot the entry into the chicane. That might spoil his run out. Has to put 2 wheels into the dust there on the exit. Now McIntyre's going to get the run he needs through NASCAR's turns 3 and 4. He's going to the outside, pinning Everett down on the inside there. He's not alongside just yet. But whilst this goes on, we might have a battle for the race lead on our hands because Janowski and Gregory are right at it going across the line. Look at that, side by side. What was the gap at the line? It was 5 thousandths of a second with Gregory just ahead. Those of you that watched the final round of the BSR TC last season will know that we had a 0.000 of a second finish, right down to the thousandths of a second. We couldn't separate it. It was Sebastian Job that came out on top over Wojciech Savinovic on that night. Could we have the same here again? Janowski and Gregory so close here. Lap 9 now. And if the estimates are right, we have just under 3 laps left of racing.
Yeah, and it's kind of hard way to know where to look at times. Alex Everett has just lost a few more places, 2 more places into turn 1 when he ran a little bit deep. And he's really struggling. He has really struggled at times tonight. And just a few small mistakes costing him very dear at the moment. Having said that, though, right at the front, Janowski and Gregory has been caught up by Malro as well.
Yes, he has. Let's have a look at what the lap times have been like. Yeah, Diego Malro set a blistering time last time around, 1:50.765. Almost a second quicker, in fact a second quicker, yeah, than both Ben Gregory and Julian Janowski. So we now have a 3-car battle for the lead here on our hands in the closing stages of this first race of the evening. Tell you what, we've got 2 more races like this to come with a reverse grid. We're going to be in for another 2 thrilling races, of course, here on Apex Racing TV. Gregory's just got a little bit of an advantage then, going through the NASCAR turn 3. The gap will though start to close. It's 0.2 of a second. It's now 0.1 of a second. Look at Janowski going this way and that, just trying to disturb Ben Gregory there. Over the line we go. 2 laps to go then. 3 minutes on the clock. And Diego Melro looking to the outside as well into turn 1. Hard on the brakes they go. None of them really overshoots, but look at everyone else close up, Conrad. Because now we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, almost 5 cars once again battling for the lead. It's all joined back together again in these closing stages.
That's like a great Constantina effect that they've got going on at the moment. What I find interesting, they've got Melrose sitting in 3rd place. He's 2nd in the championship, only 40-odd points behind his teammate, who's in 1st, Pete Newman. And you got to wonder if Melrose manages to pull off a win here, and Pete Newman stays where he is, then that's going to close up that gap a little bit. Team dynamics might start getting stressed a wee bit at times.
Yeah, just 41 points between Pete Newman and Diego Melro in the championship. Wide goes Gregory, and that allows Janowski and Melro through. Just on the entry onto the banking then. So Janowski takes the lead, Diego Melro up into 2nd place, and with just 1.5 laps to go, it's going to be a tough ask for Ben Gregory to try and get those 2 positions back. So let's just quickly have a look and see how he lost those positions going onto the banking. Tell you what, actually, it might be a bit of contact here. Janowski up the inside, yeah, and he hits him.
Oh! We've got Janowski is in the wall.
Oh no! Julian Janowski was leading for a brief moment. He's now in the tyre barrier, and it's almost like what Andreas Katz did in the final round of the Pro Series. Let's see what happened. Into the chicane he goes, swings it in, and hits a bump almost and loses control of the car. And he's stuck in a tyre barrier, and Janowski is out.
Yeah, and he's not getting out of the tyre barrier either.
Onto the final lap, Conrad. I think it looked like he hit a bump. Oh no, and off goes the Euro car. And that's Roy Ververkane. He's in the pit lane. He did what Julian Janowski did in the Pro Series last season. It's all kicking off here. It's the final lap of the race. Who's in the lead? I said that Ben Gregory had a tough ask to get the lead back. Everyone's going off in front of him, and he's now in the lead.
Now, it seems like the lead is a bit of a bogey position at the moment. And Gregory will do well to keep hold of it. They've got a bit of a gap to Jack McIntyre, who's in 3rd place at the moment, just before they come onto the oval. But Gregory has got Melro for company, and it's surely it's going to be a 2-horse race to the end for these two.
Half a lap to go then here at Daytona in race 1, round 19 of the BSR Kia World Series. 17 seconds left on the clock. It will hit 0, and this will be the final lap of the race. Diego Melro then, can he take the win for another win for Discovery Racing? Diego Melro has taken 4 wins this season. Does he want to make it win number 5? Let's see if he can do it. Heading on his way towards the bus stop chicane for the last time. Looks like Jack McIntyre might just be too far away to get anything done here. Through the bus stop we go. Don't forget...
McIntyre's getting a great run out of the bus stop.
Jack McIntyre, of course, starts as 17th on the grid, up to 3rd. Through NASCAR Turn 3 and NASCAR Turn 4. There's a problem for Nathaniel Simpson. He's just lost a whole load of positions. He's dropped down to 11th. But here we go, off of Turn 4. Towards the checkered flag then. Round 19 of the BSR Kia World Series is going to go to Ben Gregory, just at the line, 21 thousandths of a second in it, and Diego Melro and Jack McIntyre head off into the wall, but less than half a tenth separated them at the line. Very close there, 21 thousandths between Gregory and Melro. McIntyre 46 thousandths behind Gregory in the end. Great finish there, and I thought that Ben Gregory was going to hold on comfortably, but Melro and McIntyre did come back just before the line.
Yeah, it was a real hold your breath moment there on the run down to the line. But I think Gregory just positioned his car enough, or good enough to take that win. Or he didn't give McIntyre a car width on the inside to slip in there and take that position away from him. And the run around the outside was just a little bit too much for Melro. Yeah.
Great first race, and I have to say, if if McIntyre and Melrose were just a little bit closer to Gregory. The finish might have been a bit more closer than that. Well, let's run you through the race results then from the first race of the evening, round 19, BSR Kia World Series. Ben Gregory takes the win then. Privateer takes another win. Back-to-back independents taking victories here in the Kia World Series. Diogo Melrose for Discovery in second. Jack McIntyre in the end coming through to take third from 17th on the grid. Pete Newman in fourth. It could have been so much more for him, even though he started 11th. I think he might be happy with a fourth place. Alex Everett finished in fifth. A comeback really. A comeback race after overshooting the bus stop chicane and getting a slowdown penalty. Came back to finish fifth there. Aldo Massa 18th to 6th. Great storm through the field from him after picking up a back of the grid penalty for this race meeting. Kip Stevens started second, finished 7th in the end. Lon Murray 8th. Adam Hadfield, another Wales driver to encounter difficulties, finished in 9th. Roy Verke in 10th. Nathaniel Simpson finished in 11th there, dropped a whole load of places on the final lap of the race. And Nathaniel Simpson finished in, Lewis Bibby finished in 12th. Max Wright 13th. 14th for Klaus Peterson. 15th for Rick Scott. 16th there, Julian Janowski, who was leading before going off in the bus stop chicane. Disaster for him there. Stephen Baxter, 1 lap down. Same for Peter Van Gaal. Cesaro Rizzo also a lap down. Craig Evans, 2 laps down. Same for Craig McAllister. And I don't think Jason Greenfield was involved in race 1 for not very long at all. Great first race then, Conrad, but as we've seen through all of those laps really, you didn't want to be in the lead until right at the very end, because whoever was leading seemed to encounter issues.
Yeah, they most definitely did. Whether it was technical issues or issues with other cars on the track, it was really hard to keep hold of the of first place. It just goes back to what we said earlier in the meeting as well. A guy with a fantastic race there, Jack McIntyre, who started in 17th and finished 3rd. He's definitely got to be happy with the work that he's done the last 20 minutes.
Jack McIntyre is definitely going to have a very entertaining evening, because of course the reverse grid is now going to be in effect for the second race of the evening, and he will be back down in almost the position he started. I think Julian Janowski, he has been classified as finishing on the lead lap, will be reversed onto pole position, so a turn of fortune there. Rick Scott should be lining up alongside him. Then it's Klaus Pettersson, Max Wright, and then Lewis Bibby. And then the likes of Ben Gregory, Melrose, McIntyre, Newman and Everett will be starting down in the likes of 14th, 15th, 16th place on the grid. But they're slipstreaming though, Conrad, and the way that they fought through the field definitely means that don't write them off for the chance to take another victory.
Yeah, they just need to keep calm really at the start of race 2. They're going to be desperate to make their way to the front, and there's going to be traffic in the way, and guys that's might be a little bit slower than they are. They just need to get through it, work together until they hit the front, and then they can start fighting.
And a reminder that sign-ups are open for the next season of the BSR Kia World Series. And yeah, drivers should head to the Facebook group to get their names down for the next season in what looks to be a great championship. Well, we're going to step aside for just a few moments here on Apex Racing TV. Join us in a few moments for round 20, race 2 of the evening in the BSR Kia World Series. Do not go anywhere.
iRacing.com is a sim racing game that combines a true-to-life racing experience with an online community of virtual racers from all over the globe. iRacing offers a multitude of officially licensed cars and tracks, laser scanned with millimeter accuracy. Their car models and mechanical systems are based on real-world physics and engineered in cooperation with manufacturers and race teams. iRacing's web-based interface allows members to compare stats and test drive any combination of car and track instantly. Their skill license system ranges from rookie to pro, ensuring members are always pitted against those with similar skill sets. Members are able to sign up for a weekly race series, compete in time trials, host a private race with friends, and participate in racing leagues created and run by the community. With over 60,000 members, iRacing works in partnership with renowned motorsport organizations like SRO Motorsports Group to deliver virtual races based on the real-life Blancpain GT series. iRacing's Blancpain Endurance Series features team racing, giving members the ability to build a team and participate in races ranging from 3 hours to 24 hours. Additional partners include NASCAR, IMSA, V8 Supercars, IndyCar, allowing members to race in their very own 24 hours of Spa, Bathurst 1000, Daytona 500, and many more. iRacing.com, delivering the most authentic racing experience short of getting into a real race car.
Simulated racing can be awesome, but it can also be kind of a free-for-all. Interestingly, auto racing faced the same problem in its earlier days. Whether it was on the back roads, the beaches, or the city streets, the racing was fun. But there was always a certain level of chaos and danger, until some folks came along and put some order to all of this. Stuff like official racetracks, regulations about weight and equipment, and enforcement of standards. That's what gave us high-speed excitement, fast-paced action, and photo finishes. That's when racing became racing. The guys over at iRacing.com have made the same transformation in the world of sim racing. Sure, they've got the most accurate tracks and realistic cars out there, but that's just the start. See, iRacing analyzes the performance and results of each driver in every race. so you can be sure you're always placed in races where the competition will be tight, and that those reckless drivers who ruin it for us all are kept in the pits. Not to mention that with over 45,000 active members already in their vast community, you can find races day and night, so you can always get in on the action. You can even join a league of your favorite series. And since updates are always automatic, you don't have to worry about software and can focus on the track. Zip up your fire suit and check out iRacing.com.
Truex in the outside, contact made. 56 slides it at a 4. Who's going to be at the stripe? Dead even, give it to Ryan Truex. Truex is your winner over Tandy.
iRacing.com is a sim racing game that combines a true-to-life racing experience with an online community of virtual racers from all over the globe. iRacing offers a multitude of officially licensed cars and tracks, laser scanned with millimeter accuracy. Their car models and mechanical systems are based on real-world physics and engineered in cooperation with manufacturers and race teams. iRacing's web-based interface allows members to compare stats and test drive any combination of car and track instantly. Their skill license system ranges from rookie to pro, ensuring members are always pitted against those with similar skill sets. Members are able to sign up for a weekly race series, compete in time trials, host a private race with friends, and participate in racing leagues created and run by the community. With over 60,000 members, iRacing works in partnership with renowned motorsport organizations like SRO Motorsports Group to deliver virtual races based on the real-life Blancpain GT series. iRacing's Blancpain Endurance Series features team racing, giving members the ability to build a team and participate in races ranging from 3 hours to 24 hours. Additional partners include NASCAR, IMSA, V8 Supercars, IndyCar, allowing members to race in their very own 24 hours of Spa, Bathurst 1000, Daytona 500, and many more. iRacing.com, delivering the most authentic racing experience short of getting into a real race car.
Welcome back to Apex Racing TV and iRacing Live. This is the second race of the evening from the BSR Kia World Series. And a great first race. The top three separated by less than half a tenth. And of course we've got the reverse grid to look forward to for this one. Adam Bath here once again. Alongside me is Conrad. So Conrad, a great first race, as just saying. Less than half a tenth separating them. And now we've got a reverse grid to factor in for race 2. Should be another good one.
Yeah, these reverse grid races are my favorite races of the evening. There's normally the people that come out on top are the guys that has got that fine balance between playing it safe and applying the right amount of aggression when it needs to be done in order to make it to the front. So really looking forward to this one. It should be a great race.
Of course, race 2 last week at Silverstone was a thriller, and I'm sure this one is going to be as well, especially with the slipstream being as good as it was in race 1. Yes, you can see now we have gone into daylight. This is like the midday conditions on iRacing. Let's have a look at what it's like. 23 degrees, track temperature 30, so a bit improved than what it was earlier. And we are just under 30 seconds away from heading down to the grid for another 20-minute race here in the Kia World Series. We'll run you through the grid quickly. Julian Janowski should be on pole for the reverse grid race here. Alongside him on the front row is Rick Scott. Third on the grid, Klaus Pettersson. Max Wright 4th, Lewis Bivy in 5th. Nathaniel Simpson 6th, Roy Verke 7th. Adam Hadfield 8th, Lorne Murray 9th. Kip Stevens in 10th. Aldo Massa is in 11th. Alex Everett lines up 12th, Pete Newman 13th, Jack McIntyre 14th. Diogo Melro in 15th. 16th for Ben Gregory, our race 1 winner. And then 17th, Stephen Baxter, who had a disconnection and finished 1 lap down. Peter Van Gaal 18th, Cesario Rizzo 19th. Craig Evans will line up in 20th, 21st Colin McAllister, and we can see if Jason Greenfield will be able to complete a lap, lining up 22nd on the grid for race 2. Cesario Rizzo, I see, is being put onto pole position, and I think we can now determine, Conrad, that it is the cars that finish 1 lap down that get reversed onto pole.
Yeah, I'll definitely make a mental note of that.
Yeah, I think I'll write that down as well. Well, just remember the reverse grid that I said, and remember that Cesaro Rizzo, Peter Van Gool, and Stephen Baxter are actually now in front of Julian Janowski. So Rizzo has a good chance of taking the victory here after finishing one lap down in race 1. But don't forget, that lead, being in the lead, definitely looked like quite an issue in that first race.
Yeah, we saw Peter Van Gool having a good meeting at Silverstone.
Let's see if we can have one in race 2, and away we go. It's a fantastic start from Stephen Baxter, who started third on the grid, and look at them all coming through as we head down towards turn 1. Who's in the lead? I think it is still Cesaro Rizzo, who's off. He's done a Janowski, and he's off into the tyre barrier, and it's over. It is over straight away for Cesaro Rizzo. And what does that now do? It puts Stephen Baxter into the lead. Julian Janowski second. Peter Van Gool in third. Fourth, Nathaniel Simpson, who's out of control into the hairpin, sideways across the hairpin. Pitt will pick up an off track for that, surely. And behind him, it's Rick Scott, and I think he's picked up a slowdown as well as Roy Ververke. So yeah, he's tumbling down the order now. Sorry, Nathaniel Simpson.
Yeah, Nathaniel Simpson keeping well out of in doing well as he's doing so too. All those cars coming through and around him. Sometimes it's very easy just to be a bit blindsided and then run into the back of somebody. But Klaus Peterson's car is looking a bit worse for wear. He must have had a little incident somewhere as well.
And Cesaro Rizzo, Conrad, it just looks a bit like typical old cold tyres going into that first corner.
Yeah, I think it's something we've seen from the Kia time and time again, is that back end stepping out before the tyres have heated up. And he'll be kicking himself right now. That was a golden opportunity. Yeah.
There's been a crash on the back. There's been a crash. Pete Newman's been involved. The championship leader in problems already here in race 2. Let's have a look at what happened to the championship leader. It was heading through NASCAR turn 2 onto the banking. And it is the typical old Kia getting stuck together. It's with one of the Wales cars. The Wales car's having an awful evening here. And it's Adam Hadfield. Hadfield, who started 11th on the grid, he's out.
Yeah, and everybody making it through that is something we see in the NASCAR races time and time again. If there's an accident in front of you, then the whole field sort of runs into you. But Pete Newman, huge blow for him right there with that crash. And he's sort of just still grabbing along, trying to get to the pits. Even struggling to do that at the moment.
I think the rule in this series is you do have a fast repair. Once you get to the pits, you'll get a new car and be on your way. Stephen Baxter then leads at the end of the first lap. Julian Janowski in second, but how much longer? Janowski looks like he wants to lead. Started in fourth on the grid, did Janowski. And it's now looking this way, and that's to take the lead away from Stephen Baxter. Third is Peter Van Gool. Fourth is Alex Everett. Max Wright and Aldo Massa are having a battle, but look at the battle for the lead. Down the inside goes Janowski. Just as we're about to go and have a look at the battle between Massa and Wright, Janowski goes down the inside, heading onto the banking, and he's past Baxter and into the lead. Peter Van Gool in third, Alex Everett fourth, Aldo Massa in fifth, and him and Max Wright were having a battle just a few moments ago. Jack McIntyre in seventh. Eighth is Rick Scott, and it's Roy Ververke and Kip Stevens running at the top 10.
Sorry, I was just looking at Pete Newman as he was coming into the pits. He did everything right apart from hitting his marks in the pit box. He overshot the pit box, had to reverse back into place, and then didn't choose not to take tyres, so he had to sit there and take all 4 tyres as well.
As a person that's done that in the BSR TC before, I know how painful that is. Especially if any more cars join you in the pits at the same time. You just see them disappearing off down the pit lane while you're waiting there for the fuel to just dribble in, as well as the tyres getting changed as well. Lap 2 in the books then. Stephen Baxter down to second, under pressure from Peter Van Gool, veteran of course in the Kia, as Adam Hadfield comes back onto the track after being a lap down. Side by side though, Alex Everett versus Aldo Massa. Massa locking the brakes, just getting a bit sideways through that first tight braking zone, and that's now allowing Jack McIntyre to get alongside. McIntyre, who started 17th on the grid, already on a comeback. Massa down the inside of Everett. Everett gives him plenty of space. Everett, who started 15th on the grid, Massa started 14th. So there's your comebacks straight away we're seeing them working their way through the field, and it didn't take them long to get to the front here, Conrad.
Yeah, Alex Everett and Aldo Massa became well acquainted around Silverstone last week, so they are no strangers to each other. And like I said, Jack McIntyre, he did it in the first race, worked his way all the way from the back to claim a podium spot, and it's only 3 seconds behind, 4 seconds behind the leaders at the moment, so he might well do that again.
Onto the banking then for only the third time here. 15 minutes left in this race, about 8.5 laps. Massa will get the slipstream off the back of McIntyre. It's so effective round here. We'll see if anything can be done into the bus stop chicane. Tell you what, McIntyre's closing on Everett pretty quickly. Oh, hard on the brakes into the bus stop chicane. Are they all going to make it through safely? Yes, they do. A no slowdown penalty for Everett that time. But let's focus our attention back on the battle for the lead. Julian Janowski, Stephen Baxter and Peter Van Gool. Look how close these three are as we head through NASCAR Turn 3 and NASCAR Turn 4 and head back onto the front straight towards that tri-oval section. Peter Van Gool round the outside there. Stephen Baxter in that Gulf liveried Kia Optima. And they're both trying to get past Julian Janowski as they come across the line to start lap 4. Let's see if anything happens into Turn 1. Van Gool will try and go around the outside. Will he? No, he gets out of it. Allows Baxter back down the inside. And they all just make it into Turn 1. Just the smallest of lockups there from Janowski.
And this race is such a stark contrast from what we saw in race 1, where we had 7 or 8 cars for at least the first 10 or 15 minutes stuck together at the front. Right here, right now, we've got the 3 cars that's broken away at the front, and then you've got a whole train coming up from behind with Alex Everett and Jack McIntyre leading them.
Roy Verke is in the wall. He started 8th. Oh, sorry, he was in 8th place at the time. Oh, getting hit there in big fashion, if we can get this on the replay, by Ben Gregory, the race 1 winner, into the pit wall on the inside of, on the exit of that hairpin, and then heads back across the grass. Thankfully, doesn't take anyone else, and then ends his race in the tyre barrier. And I wonder if Verke won't be best pleased with that, of course, because Ben Gregory, privateer for this race meeting, has no real say on the championship, of course. And for Verke's race, it's in tatters now.
Yeah, I think Ben put his car on the inside of that bin. I'm not sure you can really call it a corner, and maybe expecting for Verke to give him a little bit more space. Yeah, his race well and truly over. He's taking a trip across the grass. He'll probably pick up a penalty as well, and he did well after losing control not to collect anybody that was circulating around Turn 2.
Jack McIntyre then bump drafting Alex Everett through NASCAR Turn 4. These two are very close to each other, as is Aldo Massa. These three have been with each other the entire race. They've been working their way through the pack together. Massa just trying to get a piece of this action between Everett and McIntyre. At the same time, Janowski and Baxter are battling. Just pick a battle here. There's so many going on the track at the moment. Baxter trying to go around the outside of Janowski. No way through there on the outside. He slots back into second. What's happened in the battle, though, for best of the rest in 4th? Everett still in 4th. As you can see there, Aldo Massa now up to 5th. Oh, getting a bit out of shape there in the hairpin. Jack McIntyre now down in 6th place. See there, Max Wright in 7th. And Adam Hadfield 8th. Ben Gregory carrying on. After a little bit of contact with Roy Verke the lap ago. In 8th place. And then Diego Mello 9th. And Kip Stevens rounding out the top 10. So heading our way towards the oval section. Peter Van Gool right with Stephen Baxter, who's now had to turn his attention away from fighting with Janowski for the lead. He's now got to worry about this car, Peter Van Gool, who he's going side by side with, onto the banking. Let's see what the slipstream can do.
It's amazing to see just one corner where 2 cars go side by side. What a big gap the guy in front of them could pull Janowski, opening up a gap of 0.8 of a second just because they were fighting over one corner. The slipstream, however, will take care of that as they approach the bus stop. In front of them, they've got Klaus Pedersen.
Engine blown!
Wow, Janowski is out again, the bus stop.
Dear me. Just a blown engine straight away. I wonder if that was a downshift or anything. But yeah, Julian Janowski is out on lap 5 here in race 2 of the evening. Now it's a battle for the lead between Stephen Baxter and Peter Van Gool. So who'd have thought that? We were just mentioning that Janowski was able to pull away just a little bit as a result of these two battling going onto the banking. And now he's out. Here we go then. Let's see what's going to happen. Over the line onto lap 6. Halfway through this race. 10 minutes, just under 10 minutes to go. Into turn 1. Peter Van Gool brakes early again. Let's see if Stephen Baxter can make the corner. Yes, he does. Poor Janowski out of the race.
Yeah, you got to feel sorry for him. Race ended at the bus stop, and race 1, and again, same race 2. I've got no doubt tonight at some point after this meeting, you're going to see him with a hammer and chisel having a go at the asphalt in that bus stop to remove that corner. It's been his bogey corner, hasn't it?
Yeah, hit a bump in race 1. Lost control of the car and span off into the tyre barrier. Got stuck in it. And that's what cost him in race 1. And in race 2, a blown engine, as we just saw. It's cost him a chance of victory here. And once again, being in the lead, definitely you don't want to do that. And it's bit again. Here comes Alex Everett down the inside of Peter Van Gool for second place. Down the inside, a bit forceful there. But either way, he's through. And that's now going to allow the floodgates to open. Here comes Jack McIntyre. Almost contacts between him and Peter Van Gool. And Aldo Massa will be watching as well. McIntyre going to try and get into third place here. Get that final spot on the podium. Massa should follow him through. He has got the slipstream of McIntyre to help him do that. This banking though, and this surface, almost sending Massa into them.
Yeah, Massa and Van Gool getting really close to each other on that run down to the bus stop.
Look at this then. Here comes Alex Everett. Had a chance possibly to take a victory in race 1, but a slowdown at the bus stop chicane early on in the race put stop to that, and he had to spend his entire race working his way back through the field. And now he's going to try and take the lead. We could be 3 wide here. The drivers were very excited about this when this happened in practice, and now we're seeing it in the race. Who's going to lead the lap? It is Alex Everett that leads it across the line. McIntyre's going at it as well. McIntyre, who won race 2 at Silverstone. Oh, Baxter hits him. Hits McIntyre. Baxter's into the tyre barrier in the pit lane. Van Gool's through into second. McIntyre continues. Alex Everett, though, is in the lead. Baxter is out.
Yeah, we're seeing the same with Baxter's with Janowski. He's got himself well embedded into that tyre barrier. And that's, his race over.
And another leader bites the dust. Another leader there, Stephen Baxter, who was leading after the Janowski engine failure. He's now out of the race. So Alex Everett now leads the race. Wonder if anything's going to happen to him. I don't wish it on him. But so far tonight, anyone that's been leading this race has ended up in terrible problems. We saw lap 1, turn 1. Cesaro Rizzo out of the race straight away. And then Janowski, the engine failure. And now Stephen Baxter, that crash down in turn 1. Alex Everett leads them. Peter Van Gool second. Jack McIntyre third. Ben Gregory fourth. Max Wright fifth. Diego Melro in sixth. Craig Evans seventh. Eighth Nathaniel Simpson. Ninth Kip Stevens. And Aldo Massa rounding out the top 10. And Massa now down near the outskirts of the top 10 in 10th place.
It really has been an attritional race. We've a 21 car grid, and we've already seen there's about 8 cars making the trip to the pits. So it's really one where if you started a little bit lower down, you can just keep facing the right way and out of trouble. There are really some positions to be had without any real effort.
Get to the line. There should be about 4 laps to go. Van Gool versus McIntyre. See if McIntyre can actually take second place away here. So coming through the tri-oval. Start lap 8. Just over 6.5 minutes to go. Van Gool will have the inside line. Let's see if McIntyre can sweep around the outside. It's going to be very close. There's a little bit of a twitch there. They close in tremendously on Alex Everett there through the tri-oval. And now Ben Gregory's on the scene. The man who won race 1, of course, earlier on tonight. Possibly trying to take a podium away here from Jack McIntyre into the hairpin. Oh, did I hear another engine blow? I hope not. I thought I heard the sound of contact. But looks like the top 4 have got away fine. Nathaniel Simpson has lost a few positions. I don't know whether that's a result of anything. But yeah, we're carrying on.
You really got to admire it. It looks like the likes of Alex Everett, Jack McIntyre, Ben Gregory, and Diego Mauro. They love these kind of rovals. Well, they've made a 14, 15, 15, and 13 places respectively. And poor Peter Van Gool, who started up there in second place right from the start, is still with them. But he's been surrounded by people that started right from the back of the grid.
Slipstream is a great equaliser on this track. with the help of the banking, you are able to get back straight away to the car in front. Peter Van Gool about to come under pressure from Ben Gregory. At the same time, McIntyre could be about to come under pressure from McIntyre into the bus stop chicane. Here we go. Peter Van Gool looks like he'll be at the mercy of Gregory on the exit. Almost a bump draft there by the privateer. That is Ben Gregory through NASCAR turn 3. More bump drafting, car getting a bit wobbly there due to the bumpy nature of this oval. Look at them dancing around there.
Leaders around.
Oh no! Alex Everett and Jan McIntyre are out! Well, McIntyre's dropped to 4th, but Alex Everett is certainly out. He's bumping and rolling down the track, and another leader's out of this race. It's shades of Monaco 82 here. And it's McIntyre getting into Everett, sending him into the sending him into the safer barrier, Conrad.
Yeah, that's almost a replay of what happened at the start of the race with Pete Newman, and yeah, you just kind of wonder. It's competitive racing, but just you feel like McIntyre maybe should have left Everett a little bit more space, especially seeing how bumpy the track is as well, and how the car bounces around once they start negotiating those corners.
Craig Evans is also in the pits. Don't know what happened to him. But yeah, this is definitely a race of attrition, and Ben Gregory, who won race 1, is now back in the lead with Diego Melro in 2nd place. Does that sound familiar? I'm sure they were 1 and 2 in race 1 earlier, so they're back at the front. I don't know if anyone wants to win this race. We've got 2.5 laps to go. Heading on to the banking, Gregory leads Melro. 3rd is still Peter Van Gool. He's still surviving all of this. Max Wright 4th, Jack McIntyre after that contact, which I'm sure the stewards will be having a look at, is in 5th. 6th is Aldo Massa, 7th Kip Stevens, 8th Flaw Murray, 9th Lewis Bibby, and then 10th is Klaus Pettersson. Actually no, sorry, most of those guys are actually laps down, so I'm probably counting them. But anyway, the battle for the lead is on between Melro and Gregory.
I mean, we say battle for the lead like anybody wants to take the lead at the moment, the way they are dropping. And another thing is Peter Van Gool. Mentioned him before in this race. If he makes it to the end of this race, in whatever position, maybe in the top 5, he's got to get driver of the race, despite all the people around him making up a huge amount of places. We've got Jack McIntyre into the pits. He's probably got the meatball flag. But yeah, Peter Van Gool, absolutely brilliant crash avoidance.
Yeah, it's all been going on around him today. Jack McIntyre heads into the pits then. It's probably not what he deserves, but that meatball flag, definitely what a comeuppance of that contact with Alex Everett in NASCAR turn 3 then. 2 laps to go. Ben Gregory leads Melro. Peter Van Gool closing in. And let's not rule out Max Wright. McIntyre, yeah, in the pits. So we've got 9 cars left, really, in this one, because then after that it's Cesare Rizzo, who's quite a way back. So out of the cars that haven't been involved in contact, we've got 9 of them left. Melro trying to take the lead away from Gregory as we head towards the left-hander, which will take us back onto the banking. Gregory almost putting 2 wheels into the grass there. And now the slipstream is going to be at its best once again through NASCAR's turns 1 and 2. Just under 2 minutes left, 1.5 laps to go. And Ben Gregory will be hoping that that leader curse doesn't happen to him as it's happened to everyone else. Look at Melro closing up there through NASCAR turn 2. He's going for it straight away here on the outside of Ben Gregory. Is he going to be clear before we go into the bus stop chicane? Gregory brakes later. He knows that he, of course, has one more lap after this to try and take the lead back, and he's got the run out of the bus stop chicane into turn 1, Conrad.
Yeah, if he knew what we know right now, he'd sit in 2nd place up until the very last moment. You don't want to be in the lead coming onto the oval, and you don't want to be in the lead coming out of that final bus stop chicane as you make the final run down to the start finish.
Gregory's just testing out here what he could do on the final lap. Who's going to lead this one? It is Ben Gregory. He led it by 14 thousandths of a second. Wonder who's going to be leading it when we get back to the line in just under 2 minutes time. Gregory has the lead then into turn 1. Peter Van Gool still keeping a watchful eye in 2nd place here. Melro now down to 2nd. Looking this way and that to try and take the lead back either into that hairpin, or maybe he's biding his time as well. He knows, he's just seen firsthand the run that Gregory gets out of the bus stop, and he might be playing that game as well. Cesare Rizzo also out of the race again. It looks like he's pricked up some sort of contact. He's just dropped down to 18th place. So more problems there for the pole sitter for the race 2. 1.5 laps to go then. We've got 4 cars going for the win. It looks like it might just be between Diego Melro and Ben Gregory, but let's not rule out Peter Van Gool. We said in race 1, don't rule out the guy in 3rd place. And he came back there in spectacular fashion just before the line.
He's going to need a good run on the oval section and out of the bus stop as well. The guy in the prime position there at the moment is Melro. And if I was him, if he gets any sort of a run into this bus stop, I'd give Ben Gregory a little push to help him along, just so you can eliminate Van Gool on that final run.
Into the bus stop chicane. Looks like Ben Gregory's going to be the one to be at the mercy of the car behind, and he doesn't get the best entry into the bus stop chicane. And Melro is so close to him on the exit. I think we're going to have a photo finish on our run to the line. NASCAR Turn 3, we're in it now. And then we're about to head into NASCAR Turn 4 and the run to the finish line. Ben Gregory versus Diego Melro.
Van Gool's coming.
And here comes Van Gool. Oh no! And it's Peter Van Gool! Peter Van Gool, the man that's had to see everything go on around him, is going to come through and take race 2 in spectacular fashion. He's done it! Peter Van Gool wins. Max Wright gets 2nd. Who's going to get 3rd? Aldo Massa gets 3rd. Kip Stevens 4th. And Ben Gregory is out. Diego Melro is coming across the line, limping. The car is out of control almost. And is he going to come across the line? I don't know if he has or not. I think he has. I don't actually know if he has or not. This might be Talladega Night style here for Diego Melro. He hasn't registered a finish yet. He's just limping across the line. And he does now. And he's going to get... Think about your championship, of course, Melro.
Oh,
he comes across the line.
I talk about crabbing. That thing is not just crabbing. He's bouncing around as well. That is the sorriest state I've ever seen a Kia in.
And his Kia Optimus do take a beating in this championship. Well, the curse of the lead struck again. And it hit Ben Gregory in dramatic fashion. Let's have a look at that back on the run to the line between him and Diego Melro. And Melro got a great run out of the bus stop chicane, Conrad. I think he just needed to wait because there is still a bit of time after you get off turn 4. But that bump, I think it's just the bumps on this NASCAR, on this old Daytona layout. I think, it's a quarter panel, and it's a big quarter panel, and it sends them into the wall. And say what, Peter Van Gool, so lucky not to get involved in it. He just says thank you very much and comes through to take the win.
Yeah, like I said, award for crash avoidance. I mean, how many did he have to drive through in this in the last 20 minutes? And it's a well-deserved win as well. I mean, we've said it time and time again. Just keep your nose clean, keep the car pointing in the right direction, and the results will come. And he's just proven that. But again, with the other 2 crashes that we saw on the bank part of the oval as well, guys just not giving each other sufficient amount of room. You don't have to be that close to to benefit from the draft or even the side draft from the car in front of you. But yeah, guys just getting way too close to each other on that bumpy section and causing countless accidents.
Diego Melro his car looking like a bucking Bronco or something coming across the line there. Absolutely crazy. So, Cesare Rizzo led and went out. Janowski led and went out. Stephen Baxter led and went out. Alex Everett led and went out. And Ben Gregory led and went out. What a crazy second race here. And Peter Van Gool ends up taking the win. Half a second ahead of Max Wright in the end. Aldo Massa finished 3rd in the end with Kip Stevens 4th. Lorne Murray 5th. Lewis Bibby in 6th. Nathaniel Simpson 7th. Tell you what, we only had 6 cars finish that weren't involved in some sort of contacts during the race. Nathaniel Simpson 7th, Diego Melro limping across in 8th, Jack McIntyre 9th, Craig Evans 10th, 11th, Pete Newman 12th, Alex Everett, who was involved in that crash through NASCAR Turn 3 and 4 with Jack McIntyre, Roy Faverke 13th, who had that crash with Ben Gregory on the exit of Turn 1. Stephen Baxter, who had the crash, another point during, had that crash into the pit wall, of course. Julian Janowski 15th, had that blown engine whilst leading. Ben Gregory 16th there, 1 lap down, was just a few seconds away from possibly taking 2 wins in a row, but no. Cesare Rizzo 17th, also a lap down. crashed straight away into turn 1 on cold tyres, whilst leading, of course. Then Klaus Pettersson 1 lap down. Rick Scott, 19th, 1 lap down. He'll be on pole position for the third and final race of the evening. And then Adam Hadfield, 6 laps down, and Jason Greenfield, 10 laps down. Another terrible race for the Wales team, as we can see there as well. Well, the second race at Silverstone was a thriller, as you said, Conrad, and this one was another thriller as well. It's just whoever was not in the lead ended up winning.
Yeah, like I said, it was definitely a thriller, just for completely different reasons. And it's definitely the curse of the leader tonight. You don't want to be anywhere close to first place until you cross the start-finish line on the last lap. It's just been terrible luck for whoever was or has been running in the lead so far.
Never seen anything like it in all the Kia series I've done in the last few years or so. Blimey, what's race 3 going to bring? I bet you all the drivers will be like, after you, I don't want to be in the lead. Well, race 3 is only just moments away. We're going to step aside for just a few moments here on Apex Racing TV and iRacing Live. Stay with us. Who knows what's going to happen in the third and final race. Race 3 of the BSR Kia World Series here at Daytona International Speedway is coming up after the break.
iRacing.com is a sim racing game that combines a true-to-life racing experience with an online community of virtual racers from all over the globe. iRacing offers a multitude of officially licensed cars and tracks, laser scanned with millimeter accuracy. Their car models and mechanical systems are based on real-world physics and engineered in cooperation with manufacturers and race teams. iRacing's web-based interface allows members to compare stats and test drive any combination of car and track instantly. Their skill license system ranges from rookie to pro, ensuring members are always pitted against those with similar skill sets. Members are able to sign up for a weekly race series, compete in time trials, host a private race with friends, and participate in racing leagues created and run by the community. With over 60,000 members, iRacing works in partnership with renowned motorsport organizations like SRO Motorsports Group to deliver virtual races based on the real-life Blancpain GT series. iRacing's Blancpain Endurance Series features team racing, giving members the ability to build a team and participate in races ranging from 3 hours to 24 hours. Additional partners include NASCAR, IMSA, V8 Supercars, IndyCar, allowing members to race in their very own 24 hours of Spa, Bathurst 1000, Daytona 500, and many more. iRacing.com, delivering the most authentic racing experience short of getting into a real race car.
Simulated racing can be awesome, but it can also be kind of a free-for-all. Interestingly, auto racing faced the same problem in its earlier days. Whether it was on the back roads, the beaches, or the city streets, the racing was fun. But there was always a certain level of chaos and danger, until some folks came along and put some order to all of this. Stuff like official racetracks, regulations about weight and equipment, and enforcement of standards. That's what gave us high-speed excitement, fast-paced action, and photo finishes. That's when racing became racing. The guys over at iRacing.com have made the same transformation in the world of sim racing. Sure, they've got the most accurate tracks and realistic cars out there, but that's just the start. See, iRacing analyzes the performance and results of each driver in every race, so you can be sure you're always placed in races where the competition will be tight, and that those reckless drivers who ruin it for us all are kept in the pits. Not to mention that with over 45,000 active members already in their vast community, you can find races day and night, so you can always get in on the action. You can even join a league of your favorite series. And since updates are always automatic, you don't have to worry about software and can focus on the track. Zip up your fire suit and check out iRacing.com.
Truex in the outside contact made. 56 slides in at a 4. Who's going to be at the stripe? Dead even. Give it to Ryan Truex. Truex is your winner over Tandy.
iRacing.com is a sim racing game that combines a true-to-life racing experience with an online community of virtual racers from all over the globe. iRacing offers a multitude of officially licensed cars and tracks, laser scanned with millimeter accuracy. Their car models and mechanical systems are based on real-world physics and engineered.
Two thrilling races we've had tonight here at Daytona International Speedway in the BSR Kia World Series, and we still got one more to go. Welcome to race 3 of the evening here on Apex Racing TV and iRacing Live. And I'm back here alongside Conrad Venter once again. Conrad's crazy second race. He didn't want to be in the lead, really. And now we've got to do it all again. Another 20-minute race coming up.
Yeah, you gotta think whoever's on pole position for this upcoming race is going to be really stressed right now after seeing what happened in that last one, and you also got to see why the track has been resurfaced. That last bend coming off or banking coming off the oval section is treacherous, isn't it?
Very, very bumpy, and I think it's mostly because there's a tunnel, I think, going underneath the track at turn 4, and that's what's created that bump almost. But yeah, we'll see what happens in this third and final race. Conditions then, it is sunset conditions here at Daytona, 23 degrees, track temperature 25 degrees, normal wind as well. Got quite a few cars reversed for this final race of the evening. We'll run you through that grid in just a moment. But it is, let's have a look, it is Rick Scott on the pole for this one. And we have 19 of the 21 cars reversed. It's going to be interesting to see how the likes of Van Gool, Max Wright and Aldo Massa work their way through the field. It didn't take them too long in race 2, did it, Conrad?
No, it didn't. We had quite a few people who made their way to the front very, very quickly. And we were looking, we discussed it off air as well, that 8 different people occupied first place at some point or another during that second race, and all but one of them, had a crash or a blown engine. So yeah, it's making your way to the front is by no way means that you're going to finish well either.
Yeah, yes, Cesaro Rizzo didn't last too long, did he, on pole position there? I wouldn't be surprised if Rick Scott stalled his engine or something before the start of the race just to make sure that he wasn't leading down into turn 1. Well, we're just about 10 seconds away from heading down to the grid for the start of the third and final race of the evening. We'll take you through the starting grid then. Rick Scott on the pole. Klaus Pettersson will line up alongside him on the front row. Third, it is Cesaro Rizzo. Let's see if he can last a little bit longer than he did in race 2. Fourth, Ben Gregory. Fifth, Julian Janowski. 6th, Stephen Baxter. 7th, Roy Verke. 8th, Alex Everett. 9th, Pete Newman. 10th, Craig Evans. 11th, Jack McIntyre. 12th, Diego Melro. 13th, Nathaniel Simpson. 14th, Lewis Bibby. 15th, Lorne Murray. 16th, Kip Stevens. 17th, Aldo Masson. 18th, Max Wright. 19th, our race 2 winner, Peter Van Gool. 20th, Adam Hadfield. And 21st, Jason Greenfield. A reminder to anyone that may be watching us here on Apex Racing TV and iRacing Live that the series is now recruiting. The recruitment has been opened for next season, and anyone interested should join the Facebook page. Just search BSR Kia World Series or message on Facebook Cesaro Rizzo or Alex Everett, and I think there is a helpful link in the description below so you can find out all the information about registering for next season there. Can't really call this third and final race, Conrad.
No, absolutely not. If you certainly can't put your money on anybody starting in the top 5 or 6, and it looks, yeah,
we'll go. I know we've got a safety car.
We've got a rolling start for the third race, possibly as a result from races 1 and 2. We saw having a standing start on that banking is really troublesome. And just seems to pull the cars down towards the bottom of the track.
Good decision from the organisers here. We need to try and preserve the amount of cars that we have running here. Of course, Cesaro Rizzo didn't fare too well from the standing start, and it gives the drivers to get some tyre temperature, as Rick Scott almost goes for a half spin there.
I suppose it's a good way to warm up your tyres, but it always looks a little bit silly if you get out of shape on the pace lap.
So Rick Scott leading them round for Scotland, and then it is Klaus Petersen in second for what looks like Team Scandinavia, and Cesaro Rizzo for Discovery. Ben Gregory, the man that was like so close to taking that second race win. And then after him, it's Julian Janowski, the man that blew that engine whilst leading. And then Stephen Baxter, the man that crashed into the pit wall while leading. Roy Verke had a bit of contact with Ben Gregory. He then lines up after that. Then Alex Everett, who had that contact while leading, heading out of NASCAR Turn 4. Then Craig Evans, Pete Newman, Jack McIntyre, who had that crash with Alex Everett. Dropped a few positions there. Diego Melro, who crashed with Ben Gregory heading towards the line. It was Bibby, Nathaniel Simpson, Kip Stevens, Lorne Murray, Max Wright, Aldo Massa, Adam Hadfield, Peter Van Gool, our race 2 winner. And those are all the cars in this race. So really, with the cars that started this race, Peter Van Gool is lining up last on the grid. I don't think Adam Hadfield, alongside Adam Hadfield, yeah, so he's going to be working his way from the back to the front. Is our race 2 winner, Peter Van Gool. Adam Hadfield will be trying to restore some points for Team Wales, and so will Alex Everett. They've been in good positions to take wins, but of course that curse of being in the lead has definitely hindered them.
So one guy we haven't really spoken a lot about tonight is our series leader, who hasn't really featured in the podium spots apart from running up there in race 1, but he's had some really solid finishes and making it to the end in one piece, and well, no doubt if all goes well in this third race should extend his lead in the series.
To the green flag then. Safety car will peel into the pit lane, and then the drivers will get the green flag atop the gantry, and it will be set for another 20 minutes of racing here. Rick Scott not back in the pack up at all. He wants to get this race underway. Safety car's off, and he goes.
There he goes.
And race 3 of the evening here at Daytona International Speedway in the BSR Kick World Series is underway. Cesaro Rizzo up to second, Ben Gregory already on the move, and whoa, Julian Janowski coming out of nowhere, down the inside and up to second. Brilliant start from Janowski. Started in 5th place, already up to 2nd place, and is already haggling Rick Scott in towards turn 2. 3rd Gregory, 4th Cesaro Rizzo, 5th is Stephen Baxter, and yeah, Rick Scott continues to lead. Let's see how they all go through this tight hairpin. Everyone working their way through pretty nicely. Peter Van Gool at the back there. So Scott, good start from him. Didn't do what Cesaro Rizzo did at the start of race 2, and now needs to try and get away. But of course, we've seen the curse of the race leader, and off goes Rick Scott. He almost goes off anyway, but he's able to hold on. Julian Janowski almost follows him off as well, and that allows Ben Gregory, the man that almost won race 2, up into second.
Yeah, Janowski had an amazing start there, and he did well to keep hold of it as well, as he had a couple of wheels on the grass as they came into the braking zone for turn 1. But yeah, the drafting is about to start as we come into the oval section. Rick Scott, I'm afraid, are going to come under some pressure from the likes of Gregory and Janowski as they come down into the bus stop. Janowski looking really keen to make that overtaking maneuver, but thinks better of it. He's going to try and make it work down the inside of the bus stop, and he does. Brilliant.
So Janowski up into second. Gregory looked like he got it done. Someone's dropped down the order, and it's Roy Verke. Verke, who was involved in contacts in race, and Alex Everett. Alex Everett, the man who was that was good in race 1 and race 2, looked like he had a chance of winning, is off, and it's contact between him and Verke. Verke comes in front of him on the replay, and they both hit each other through the bus stop chicane, and that just caps off an awful night for Alex Everett, really.
Yeah, for Roy Verweke as well. That almost looks like a replay of the incident.
Everyone's off. Rick Scott's off. Ben Gregory's off. And the other guy's off. Janowski's off. Oh, and Melrose off. Yeah, and he hits Gregory as well. And hits the other Scotland car of Max Wright. Dear me, I think we might need to get that on the replay as well if we didn't catch it live. Here we go. Across the line to complete lap 1. Or lap... Yes, to start lap 2. And it all starts, I think, with Gregory. It looks like with Gregory, I think. Conrad's hitting. Or is it Conrad getting out? Is it Gregory getting out of shape? I think it's Gregory getting out of shape.
Yeah, he's just lost the back end on the braking. I'm just trying to figure out. Yeah, it was Benjamin Gregory and Janowski that got into each other there. Yeah, that sent Janowski off into the distance. Sure, Scott just ran wide into turn 1. That caused him to lose a bunch of positions. But he's down to 6th place.
Curse of the lead continues. Stephen Baxter, he knows that all too well, and he now finds himself in the lead. Pete Newman in 2nd, the championship leader going into this race meeting. Third is Jack McIntyre. As Baxter went a little bit wide into the bus stop. I don't know whether that means he's going to be a sitting duck as we come through NASCAR's turn 3 and 4. Jack McIntyre 3rd, 4th is Cesaro Rizzo. 5th is Craig Evans, 6th Rick Scott, 7th Nathaniel Simpson, 8th Aldo Massa, 9th Adam Hadfield, and 10th already is our race 2 winner Peter Van Gool. Here we go then, off of turn 4. Are we going to go 3 wide? I think we might do here, Conrad. This is going to be very tense indeed. Baxter on the inside, Newman on the outside getting a helpful push from McIntyre. Baxter might not be giving this up too easily here going into turn 1. They both brake at almost exactly the same time. Around the outside goes Newman. And I think he's just got enough speed in the car around turn 1 to get the lead. Yes, he has.
And then the luck of the leaders. If I was Stephen Baxter, I'd wave Pete Newman right through. And we have McLeod Evans looking up the inside of Jack McIntyre into the first hairpin. And we've seen McLeod Evans in previous weeks. He's got at least one really good race in him each week. Hopefully this is it.
Serious him, his teammate did so well. As Jack McIntyre gets a bit out of shape there in 4th place. He's got 2 cars going side by side for him behind him, Cesaro Rizzo and the other Euro car of Nathaniel Simpson. Down the inside goes Craig McLeod Evans on Jack McIntyre. That's Evans up into 3rd place now. And Pete Newman still leads. Yeah, we were just speaking about Evans, his teammate, of course. Peter Van Gool won race 2. And I'm sure he'll like to emulate as good a result as that. A podium maybe, if not even a win. Going down the back straight then. Pete Newman has got quite a good lead. What's closest here? Here comes the Team Eurocar. Nathaniel Simpson trying to get past Cesaro Rizzo for what will be 5th. Oh, there's not much of a gap there. Rizzo tries to close the door, but he just finds it. He puts a wheel or 2 into the grass, does Simpson. He comes back on and hits Rizzo and hits Massa
as well.
And he's off on his roof, Nathaniel Simpson. Another Euro car in strife here. Everyone's scrambling to avoid him. Do they avoid the other car of Massa? Massa's got himself going again, thank goodness. But yeah, another one goes there, and another problem for Euro car.
Yeah, Massa did really well to get the car pointing in the right direction again. He was really slow, but thankfully everybody around him managed to avoid him. As Pete Newman and Stephen Baxter are still fighting over 1st position.
Yeah, and Newman just lost the lead momentarily, but is now back in it now. And look who's in 2nd. Jack McIntyre's just been able to get back past Baxter into the hairpin, but Baxter's not giving up in that Gulf Racing Kia Optima there. Side by side, heading towards the hairpin through the kink. This left-hander, brilliant section here on the infield at Daytona. And McIntyre wants the lead. Oh, and he gets hit, does Baxter. Baxter gets hit by Evans and goes crash and wham into that tyre barrier at the hairpin, Conrad.
Yeah, there might be some discussion going on later tonight about some of these incidents. But yeah, Stephen Baxter, he didn't have a great week around Silverstone last week and is not having a great meeting again here around Daytona tonight.
What does Alex Simpson say? That wasn't a bump and run, that was a smash and grab. and that was Craig Evans getting back past Stephen Baxter, and another one bites the dust almost in this race. Nathaniel Simpson, Roy Verke, and now the same for... Oh, and off goes the Wales car! Adam Hadfield is stuck in the tyre barrier, and if it was awful enough for Team Wales, it's just gone catastrophically wrong again. Hadfield in the tyre barrier in the bus stop chicane.
Yeah, he obviously saw what Janowski did in the first race and thought it looked like a lot of fun and followed him in exactly the same manner and just blew his engine for good measure as well.
Jack McIntyre now going for the race lead, trying to get past Pete Newman as they come across the line to start lap 5. Another race of attrition on our hands here at Daytona International Speedway, and off goes Craig Evans. Craig Evans, who was in 3rd place, has hit the concrete wall on the entry into turn 1, and what looked like another good result in the offering there for that team has gone wrong again. So another car that was in a shout of a podium is now down the order.
And it's again, it looks like that was the same as with Hadfield. It's just the bumpy nature of the track. A couple of the bumps in the track just catching out people when they least expect it.
So how many cars have we got left? We've got two now fighting for the lead. This is Jack McIntyre versus Pete Newman. Then who's it after that? We've got Cesare Rizzo, and then it's Rick Scott, and Lewis Bibby, and Kip Stevens, Aldo Masso, and Klaus Pettersson and Diego Melro. This order has just been shaken up tremendously here. Onto the banking then.
Yeah, providing they keep out of trouble, I reckon anybody in the top 6 has got a really good chance of winning the race. Aldo Masso involved in that incident a couple of laps ago. He might be running with a bit of a winded car at the moment. And there's a considerable gap to Kip Stevens in front of him.
Into the chicane then. McIntyre leads Newman. These two have kept their cars clean for the moment. See if they can now. Hopefully they realise that as long as they just keep the car out of any wall or off the or don't abuse the bumps too much, they should be able to come home and drive. But that's easier said than done. We've seen it happen to so many drivers tonight. We could have come through 6 laps to go and we get to the line. And here comes Newman. He's going to try and get past McIntyre as we come across the line. Haven't seen a close finish yet. We saw 0.5 of a second. We haven't seen it down to the thousandths, and Newman will lead that lap by 74 thousandths heading into turn 1. It's a wheel or two into the grass, able to keep the car under control, like so many others that have not done that in this 3rd and final race. Rick Scott, though, doing a good job for the Scotland racing car there, up in 3rd. Problem for Lewis Bibby. Lewis Bibby dropping down the order. He was in 5th. The man that was in 5th is continuing in what is now 11th place, and I think it might be something we've seen before, Conrad. Oh no, it's contact actually. Contact with Kip Stevens.
Yeah, Kip Stevens, the unfortunate party in that exchange. Bibby just losing the car again. Braking, yeah. And the same, almost the same as we saw with Cloud Evans, really.
So we continue. It's another car eliminated then. Well, at least they've carried on without too much damage, really. Just a bit of bodywork damage from the contact with Kip Stevens for Lewis Bibby. Klaus Pettersson and Diego Melro are battling. I think that's just been a change for position. Yes, it is. Melro going past Pettersson getting past Melro. Janowski continues. Verke and Bibby going at it. Around the outside is going that heavily damaged Euro car. Verke, who had that contact early on in the race, just carrying on, and you can see there Craig McLeod-Evans there as well. They're going side by side into the bus stop chicane. We could be about to go 3 wide here. Oh no! And Bibby's off, and Evans is off, and Verke's off, and Craig McLeod-Evans just carries on. I think he was the only one that took the right line there.
I'm wondering how hard Verke is going to work at keeping his car running straight at the moment. It's definitely not pointing straight as he's coming around the oval section, and McLeod-Evans just sails past him, really.
On to lap 7 then. We've got just under 8.5 minutes to go, just under 5 laps left here in another crazy race here at Daytona. Let's run you through the order. We've got Pete Newman leading Jack McIntyre still. That order seems to have settled for the time being. Then it's Rick Scott in 3rd, Cesare Rizzo 4th, Adam Hadfield, he's a lap down. Massa in 5th, Kip Stevens 6th, 7th. It is Klaus Pettersson, but he's got Diego Melro for company here, and these two are very close as we head in towards the hairpin. And then the run towards the left-hander that will get us back onto the banking. This is breaking point there, just is Klaus Pettersson. And this will mean that he has the car behind Diego Melro of a good run heading onto the banking here. Let's see if he's able to get it done either through the banking or onto the bus stop chicane. Melro, who came so close to taking a win in race 2, but had that crash of Ben Gregory on the run to the line, is trying to work himself back through the field and get another respectable finish without having too much contact.
Yeah, we'll definitely be looking for a good finish. We've got to look at the gaps between the drivers at the moment as well. This is probably the biggest spread we've seen so far between drivers through all the races tonight. And some have been considerably faster than others. It's just incidents galore has meant that the field has broken up quite a lot. But Jack McIntyre and Pete Newman, they're out in the front, and it looks like sensibility has prevailed to a certain extent.
Yeah,
As they cross the line with just 4 laps to go, I mean, it's a good idea just to stay as you are at the moment and leave the battling for the last lap.
Yeah, I think it's just simmering away nicely here in the battle for the lead. Jack McIntyre and Pete Newman, 2 very quick drivers, BSR TC Pro Series drivers as well. You can see that Thursday, of course, Apex Racing TV iRacing live from 8:15. Another problem for Roy Ververke. He's just disappeared off the timing screen, but he was already down the order anyway. Diego Melro, though, battling away with now Kip Stevens. He's got past Klaus Pettersson that last lap, and now he's going to try and get past the Bermuda car there of Kip Stevens. Into the hairpin they go. Is Melro going to look to the inside? He knows that Stevens is a good driver, 2-time Pro Series champion, of course. And Pettersson, don't count him out. He's coming back with a vengeance here as well. Massa on his way in front of these guys as well, so he doesn't want to get involved at the moment. Onto the banking they go. See if Melro can get the slipstream on Stevens and get it done into the chicane. Close enough to get it done here. Let's have a look. So close to bump drafting there. Look at them. The bumps are definitely changing the way the cars are moving about here. I wouldn't be surprised if they almost run into that wall on the outside. And at the same time, Janowski and Pettersson are battling behind these guys. Very close there. Now the run out of the bus stop and through NASCAR's turns 3 and 4. Let's see if Melro can get this done now.
Oh, there we go.
And off goes Pettersson. And the car is crabbing about and all of that. And it was another quarter panel. So many times. How many times do we have to see it? The quarter panel is just the final move, really.
Yeah, we've seen it countless times tonight. It's just when the car behind just moves out, and the car in front, the back end moves around so much because of the bumps in the road, and then they make contact that way, and the car in front is the one that suffers and ends up in the wall.
Well, Melro's through past Stevens, and so is Janowski. Janowski going to try and get past Melro. Melro locks the brakes, almost did a bit of contact there between these guys. Don't forget, we do have an incident limit of 17 here, and the drivers, if they get too much of that, they will, of course, be disqualified. We've got just over 4 minutes to go, 2.5 laps of racing left here. And this battle is on here for what is now 6th place. Oh, dear me. Oh, a dummy could be on here. Janowski looking to the inside. No, just not close enough.
And Janowski looks really keen to make that pass, and he doesn't really need to be. He's hasn't had a great night. Retired in race 1 because his car got stuck in a wall just in the bus stop, and race 2 ended for him when he blew his engine. So just making it to the end here should really be the aim. They're really exaggerated moves, eventually making it past Melro. But now again, it's going to be under pressure coming across the start-finish line.
We get to the line. There'll be 2 laps to go. Nothing happening really at the front between Pete Newman and Jack McIntyre. The gap remains around 0.2 of a second, but Rick Scott and Cesario Rizzo are going at it. Here they are, they're coming across the line now. Rick Scott there.
And you've got Adam Hatfield in there as well, who's a lap down.
Yeah, I was just wondering why there was a Team Wales car there. And down the inside goes Rizzo. Some through.
And Rizzo will not be impressed with that.
We're going, where are the blue flags? And Nathaniel Simpson might have just had a problem. And so is Lewis Bibby. Oh no, Lewis Bibby's back. My time on screen just had him disappear for a second. And side by side here, Aldo Massa and Rick Scott. Massa's closed in on these guys the last few laps. Now he's right with them. Be careful here. Just over 1.5 laps to go. You'd want to make it to the end by this point and just get some points on the board. Massa closing in now. Scotland car.
It's almost like you're willing them on at this point, just to make it to the end. You've seen how many races as end and crumpled middle tonight. Just make it to the end, boys. Come on.
Well, yeah. Let's. If you look at the timing sheets, we've got we are 11 seconds covering the top 8, and then Lisa Van Gool 19 seconds back. So quite a few cars have had issues. Anyway, down towards the bus stop chicane, Massa just in front of Rick Scott, and that's another position there for Massa. He's now up to 4th. What's happening at the front? We're about to start the final lap of the race. Jack McIntyre, has he been sandbagging? Has he got anything for Pete Newman? We're about to find out. So we're going to come off of NASCAR Turn 4 and get the white flag. I'll be starting the final lap here at Daytona International Speedway. Great evenings racing here. A lot of crashes and a huge attrition rate in all 3 races tonight. We'll see if Jack McIntyre can now turn it on. Lap times last time around, we just crossed the line. 1:52.3, and Newman goes off. Well, goes wide, and Jack McIntyre goes through. And I wonder if that was a bit of tactical play there, Conrad, because as we've seen tonight, you don't want to be the leader starting the last lap.
No, it's almost like you read my mind. I was just about to say exactly the same thing. Sort of just a little technical mistake. To give up the lead, to give yourself the best chance of winning the race by the virtue of drafting coming back onto the oval.
Massa's out, and he's been disqualified, and it's because of contact down at the first corner with Rick Scott. Massa messed it up on his own, really. Hit the bump, made a mistake, and then had a bit of contact for good measure with Rick Scott, and that's what disqualified him. So another car out, and Massa was on for 4th place, and maybe even better. But let's focus on the battle for the lead then. We've got half a lap to go, and Jack McIntyre looks like he's about to take a win. He took the win in race 2 at Silverstone, last time out, the last race meeting. And a reminder, of course, that the BSR Kia World Series next week heads to Lime Rock Park. Great circuit there as well. And I'm sure the track that the drivers know well, especially from their rookie days in the Mazda MX-5, which you have to do here on the iRacing service. Through the bus stop chicane we go then. Is there enough of a gap for Pete Newman to close in? It's going to be tough. See what he can do. NASCAR Turn 3, we are in now. The gap is around 0.3 of a second.
I think Jack McIntyre being really smart, taking the high line going into the corner. Now all he needs to do is defend down low.
Oh no! Here we go! It is!
Is it going to be?
0.001 and it's Pete Newman! I told you, watch out for the close finishes! Pete Newman managed to take the win in the end from Jack McIntyre. He was 0.3 of a second behind going off of Turn 4 of the NASCAR banking. And wow, you can't get much closer than that. It almost mirrors what we had in the BSR TC Pro Series at the end of last season. 1,000th of a second in it. You can't really get much closer than that.
No, you certainly can't. And I can't even imagine how close that is in distance. What a fantastic finish. I mean, like I said, Jack McIntyre did everything right there, but Pete Newman making full use of the draft and taking the race win by the smallest margins.
Just looking at it back here in the slow motion camera. Just coming to the line, and yeah, it is so close, but it is Pete Newman that takes the win. We've had so many close finishes in these Kia Optimas, and it never fails to disappoint. Race 3 of the evening then goes to Pete Newman. Wow, what a third race there. Jack McIntyre just in the end coming up second best by 1,000th of a second. And yeah, I think Pete Newman timed that to perfection. I'm sure that small little error in the first corner, he had planned that just for that moment. Cesaro Rizzo in third, Rick Scott fourth, Julian Janowski fifth, sixth Diego Melrose, seventh Kip Stevens, eighth for Lorne Murray, ninth Peter Van Gaal, and 10th for Craig Evans. Lewis Bibney finished in 11th, 12th Ben Gregory, 13th Max Wright, 14th Stephen Baxter, 15th Aldo Massa in the end, 16th for Alex Everett. And the cars one lap down on more. We've got Adam Hadfield in that Wales entry. Klaus Pettersson finished 2 laps down. Nathaniel Simpson 2 laps down as well in 19th. And then Roy Verke 5 laps down in the end. He had to retire the car. 3 crazy races then, Conrad. And I think this juggled order that we saw in all 3 races might change the championship somewhat heading into the next race meeting.
Yeah, absolutely. It's sort of kind of hard to find words to describe the 3 individual races, but they were unique in their own way to a certain extent. And but the best finish was definitely left for last.
Jack McIntyre saying in the chat actually, impressive tactical mistake. And Pete Newman just replies, I knew I couldn't be in the lead. We've seen that so many times tonight. The leader of the last lap usually doesn't make it back. They're in one piece. And Pete Newman was able to time that to perfection and take the win by 1,000th of a second. We haven't seen it much closer than that. Right. We'll let the drivers just get back to the pits and get out the car, and we'll see if we can possibly get any drivers for a quick word. I don't know if we do that in the... Do we chat to the drivers in the BSR World Series?
Yeah, we have a chat every now and again. If anybody is keen to join us,
see if anyone, see if anyone's available in the interview room for a quick word. Well, race 1 started off crazy. A great run to the end. 3 cars separated by less than half a tenth of a second there. Great result there as well. I'll just get the winner up for that in a second. Then race 2, of course, we had the run to the line. And a huge crash there for Ben Gregory, which took him out. Him and Melmo both out taking the win. And Peter Van Gaal coming through. The man who had been in third for most of the night and avoiding all the wrecks that were going on around him. Ended up coming through and taking an unlikely win. And then in race 3, we just saw there another race of attrition. And it all ended up with Pete Newman taking the win by 1,000th of a second. Rick Scott has entered the interview room. I think we can get him down for a quick word. Rick Scott joins us then in the commentary box. Rick, welcome. 4th place in race 3, but I'll tell you what, these Daytona races have definitely been a race of attrition.
Yeah, that first few laps, almost every car in front fell off. I think there were only 2 out of the bunch that were in front after lap 2 that didn't do something to drop off, and no, it was great just making places by staying on the road.
Tell you what, racing on this older layout of Daytona, the bumps have definitely played their part tonight. How was the car handling on those oval parts of the track?
Bumpy is a good word for it, yeah. I have run the new resurfaced Daytona, and the bumps are really noticeable when you come back to the old circuit, yeah.
Right, next week then, we head to Lime Rock Park, and a track that you should really know well, so how do you think you can go around there?
Well, as you'll be aware, I am not regularly this far up the field. I would be normally mid-teens, so let's see if we can't pull somewhere nearer the top 10. Lime Rock, obviously, everyone's familiar with rookie days and Mazdas, so everyone tends to be quick there.
Well, it's certainly a track that offers its opportunity. Like I say, everybody knows it well, and it's a track that everybody is familiar with, and passing is not as easy as you might think around it. So, like you say, if you keep your nose clean, keep your car pointing in the right direction, good finishes are on the cards.
Yeah, Conrad, it's like you say, it's a circuit everyone knows. Overtaking is difficult and everyone knows how to defend.
Just before we let you go, Rick, do you want to send a quick shout out to anyone?
Obviously to all my teammates, the Iron Brew car looking good again tonight, thanks guys. I just didn't have the pace to run with the guys at the front end, but me and Chase had an awesome battle for what turned out to be 3rd and 4th. Fantastic.
Well done for staying on the road. It definitely looked like a tough one there, those 3 races. And thanks for talking to us, Rick.
No problem.
Yeah, we'll see you at the next race meeting. Rick Scott there. The team Tartan Lassie's doing pretty well there to get a 4th place in the end. And yeah, in race 3 really, Conrad, it was literally just, we kept seeing all the cars disappear right in the, it was in the first few laps though where we saw it happen. Let's see if anyone else is available for a quick word. No one else has joined the interview room. Give it a few more minutes. Of course, Lime Rock Park. Another track, I think, Conrad, which can lend itself to slipstreaming. Really, you've got the long straight heading into that hairpin, and then that tricky technical section.
Yeah, sorry, I think I was just experiencing a few gremlins there myself. It's kind of a unique track because you've only got the one left-hand turn on it, and then you've got a fairly long front straight, but you come into that straight at speed, so overtaking is difficult. And I think with these cars you're gonna see the overtaking is gonna, people are gonna go for it on that little back stretch after that technical bit, because it's the place where people are most likely going to make accidents, and like we've seen in the Kia series, people aren't afraid to go for it.
Craig McLeod Evans has entered the interview room. Let's see if we can get him down for a quick word. Craig Evans joins us now, and it was a good result for your team because you had Peter Van Gool able to take a victory in race 2, but yeah, race 3 didn't go at all to plan for you, really.
No, not at all, really. Overall, the team performed very well. Peter had a fantastic win, so I'm quite happy for that. That's our team's first win of the season, so delighted to get that one on the cards. But no, personally, that was a pretty awful night of racing. But you shouted out, you wanted people down, so I thought I'd come and tell you how bad I did tonight.
Yeah, we saw you going into turn 1. Was it just a mistake on the bumps or something going into that first corner that sent the car spearing off to the right?
Yeah, I think so. I'm not too sure. In race 1 and race 2, it speared off to the left on several occasions for me, so going off to the right was a little bit different. But thankfully there wasn't a wall there, so I managed to get back on. But yeah, I think it was just on the bumps. It's a corner, no matter what game I'm playing. I always have problems with it. Don't enjoy it at all.
Well, I can certainly tell you, when the only driver having problems with turn 1 and the bumps around the track tonight, and we asked Rick as well. It's obviously you were running the track, the 2007 version of the track. So how difficult was those bumps around the oval section?
Yeah, they were quite difficult. Like you said, there was quite a few people having problems, so that actually benefited me in race 2 in the early laps of race 3. But yeah, I fell victim of them as well. But I've not raced the updated one on iRacing before, so all I know is these bumps, and I've not really kind of had much chance in the other tracks. But yeah, the bumps caught a lot of people like me quite a bit as well.
Well, I think that's certainly an advantage, and I almost feel like I owe you an apology as well. Because in that third race, I did mention that each week we do see you, and you have at least one really good race in you, and just as we said it all went wrong for you. So a bit of a commentator's curse there, and I do apologise.
No, that's all right. You know, you're right. The last couple of weeks I've been having better races, but no, Daytona wasn't a good one, so I may as well have been cursed in all 3 of the races. They just didn't go to plan at all.
Well, next week we head to Lime Rock Park. How do you think the Kia's going to go around there? It's a bit of a tight track, only one left-hander, of course, so do you think you'll be able to get the car handled well around there, get another good result?
Probably not. I've never raced at Lime Rock before. I think I might have done maybe a time trial in an IndyCar at it, but that was about it. I can't remember ever racing around that circuit, so I'm going to have to put in plenty of practice between the Pro Series as well. But we'll see how it goes. see if I can just follow some lines and learn as I go along.
Yeah, good luck with the the Pro Series on Thursday as well. And
Sure.
I think that's about it. So yeah, thanks for talking to us, Craig, and hard luck on possibly what could have been a podium in race 3. But yeah, thanks for talking to us, and we'll see you at the next race meeting.
No problem. Thanks, guys. Cheers.
Craig McLeod-Evans there. I think no more guys in the interview room. Yeah, we will wrap this up. So, Conrad, crazy 3 races, race of attrition. The bumps, the track here at Daytona played its part, and we had a fantastic race meeting.
Yeah, it was brilliant. I come into every week before we come onto the air and think, how is this week going to top up we saw the previous week, and Daytona for very different reasons is us topped what we saw around Silverstone the week before, and no doubt we'll see something very unique around Lime Rock next week as well.
Well, indeed, it's been a pleasure filling in for Jake this evening, and tell you what, if I get asked to do any more BSR Kia World Series, I'll definitely jump at the opportunity. It's been a brilliant evening's racing. Well, of course, tomorrow, we've got the return of the Kia Club Series, and then Thursday, of course, the BSR TC Pro Series will be back as well. So my thanks to Conrad for being alongside me here, covering the action, and Samuli Kumo as well on the cameras, covering all the action that you've seen on the YouTube and iRacing live streams tonight. I've been Adam Bath, of course, and thank you for watching the BSR Kia World Series on Apex Racing TV and iRacing Live. The next round comes from Lime Rock Park in a week's time. We'll see you there. Good night.
iRacing.com is a sim racing game that combines a true-to-life racing experience with an online community of virtual racers from all over the globe. iRacing offers a multitude of officially licensed cars and tracks, laser scanned with millimeter accuracy. Their car models and mechanical systems are based on real-world physics and engineered in cooperation with manufacturers and race teams. iRacing's web-based interface allows members to compare stats and test drive any combination of car and track instantly. Their skill license system ranges from rookie to pro, ensuring members are always pitted against those with similar skill sets. Members are able to sign up for a weekly race series, compete in time trials, host a private race with friends, and participate in racing leagues created and run by the community. With over 60,000 members, iRacing works in partnership with renowned motorsport organizations like SRO Motorsports Group to deliver virtual races based on the real-life Blancpain GT series. iRacing's Blancpain Endurance Series features team racing, giving members the ability to build a team and participate in races ranging from 3 hours to 24 hours. Additional partners include NASCAR, IMSA, V8 Supercars, IndyCar, allowing members to race in their very own 24 hours of Spa, Bathurst 1000, Daytona 500, and many more. iRacing.com, delivering the most authentic racing experience short of getting into a real race car.